human design, it's numbers. You know, this is mechanical knowledge. It's logical. It's fundamentally dualistic. That's its, you know, it states that, you know, in the beginning, there wasn't a moment of singularity where everything was compressed into one thing, what they call the Big Bang. It establishes that in the beginning, before the beginning, there was already a fundamental yin and a fundamental yang. And until those two didn't clash together, nothing ever happened. It's only when those two clashed together that the potential inherent in duality started to unfold. The 2 became a 4, the 4 became a 16, the 16 is 64. 64 is the number of the genetic codons. 64 is the number of the hexagrams in the I Ching, the great book of changes or mutations written by the Chinese 5,000 years ago, they say. So the mathematical correlation is just, you know, strikingly perfect. Through that correlation of I Ching and genetics, because this body graph, as you'll see, is made out of these 64 gates or codons. So they represent the way human genes organize themselves to get one of this, you know? So we all have the same matrix. We look different, but the makeup is just the same. We all have a liver. We all have a brain. We all have 2 kidneys. We all have a mind. You know, we all have parents. We all have everything. We all have a different predisposition, a different potential, and a different limitation in each of us. Through this correlation, outside stellar information can be transposed into the body graph. That means that what used to be astrological information that you have to interpret by the symbols, you can suddenly read through a grid that is entirely mechanical. Mechanical, there's nothing to interpret. It's not about symbols, it's about channels. You know, it's about connection between organs, between glands. You know, it's about the way, well, all humans function, unless they develop awareness about their uniqueness. Because if you do not develop awareness about your uniqueness, you live at the expense of your mind. You live the way your mind tells you to live. And minds, human minds, are all homogenized, looking for people who agree with them. See, opinions are all about agreeing or not. Beliefs are all about agreeing or not. Truth never agrees with anyone. Truth is about agreeing with yourself, you know? And no one can tell you if you agree with yourself or you don't. Normally, we don't pay attention to those things. We're lost in whether we agree or not with this one, with that one. That's going to help us to become what we are not. Going to help us to get lost and further away from our own truth, which we so deeply ignore. The moment you take the 2 calculations, you put them together in the stellar field, you can exactly see, you know, where each imprinting object, the sun, the earth, the moon, the planets, the nodes of the moon, exactly which part of their genetic imprint potential they imprinted. Exactly. All you need afterwards is to be able to read this circuit board, because that's what this body graph is. It's a circuit board, you know, like our organs. You know, it's not like your liver does anything different than what my liver does. All livers do the same thing. They do the same function. So the centers, they do the same functions in no matter whose design we're talking about. This is logical, it's mechanical, it's structural, it's not philosophical. In a sense, you know, you're the only person who can know if your design is your design. You know what I mean? I can only know if my design is my design. If what I experience about that thing on the inside actually is something that is mirrored in that body graph or not. Because that's the difference between you and anybody else.